So this one, we're going back to the old days when I was like 8 years old, okay? 8 years old. I was 8 years old when this shit was happening, okay? So let me tell y'all a quick, not quick, might take a little while, but let me tell y'all a story time about when I was 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, I got traumatized for the first time during Halloween. Now look, I know Halloween is the time to get scared. Boom, get scared, like, all that type of fun stuff. But Halloween night, I remember this was back in the days whenever I was living in an apartment complex. I was living in an apartment complex. And so we were going around the neighborhood. We were walking around the neighborhood for Halloween night. And I was 8 years old at the time, okay? So I remember I dressed up as Luigi because I was so obsessed with Super Mario Bros. I dressed up as Luigi, okay? And so I remember we were going around the neighborhood collecting sweets and stuff. And I've always been told that be careful with your Halloween treats because you can have razor blades. During that time is whenever that trend was going on. I know y'all know about that trend, about the razor blades and like them injecting the candies in Halloween night. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Well, anyways, that's what was going on, right? During that time, that's when that trend was going on about, hey, let me see if there's any razor blades in your candy and stuff. So keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind. So I was already skeptical. I was already a little paranoid since I was a little jit. I had my Luigi mustache on, my Luigi hat. I was just going down the street, minding my business, and I don't really remember that. I don't really remember too much what happened that night because you remember that was a long time ago. But I do remember how I got traumatized. So, boom, it was around 8 p.m. It was starting to slow down a bit, right? And then once it hit 9, it was starting to die down. So I remember we went to this one house in this one neighborhood, and I went up the steps. And then I looked around, and it was me and my brother and my mom. So me and him were trick-or-treating. Me and him went up to the steps, and nobody was there at the door. And so we just like, I looked at my mom and I was like, there's nobody here. She's like, oh, and they must have already finished their Halloween night. So let's just go home. And I was like, okay. So I turn around. My little brother turns around too. And then because I was a little badass kid, remember that? So I was thinking like, nah, there has to be something. So I turn around. There's a little bucket of candy, but it was only like 2 or 3. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to steal all of this. This is all that's left. I'm going to steal it. So I go to grab it, right? And as soon as I go to grab it, the doorbell rings super loud, like boom. And I turn around and I'm like, yo, what just happened, right? And I get scared, and then I was like, as soon as I heard that, I boom dashed, and I went super fast. And then my brother turned around, looked at me. He saw that I went running, and he came chasing after me, and we were both running. We both ran away. My mom was just there, and she was like, what happened? And then I was like, I don't know. And then the neighbors opened the door. And they started laughing, and they're like, nah, come back. It's okay. We were just messing with the doorbell so you could get scared. And then my heart was pounding. I've never felt my heart pound that hard before ever in my life. I was like, like that. I thought I died that day. Y'all would have never seen Uminou if I died that day. If I got a heart attack. Because that's how scared I was. That's how traumatized I got from Halloween night. Never again will I ever do that again. Anyways, I can't even do that. I'm unk. But yeah, so that's what happened. And but the thing that I saw, I don't know what they were doing, but they had like wires. They had like little mini wires that they were messing with to make like the doorbell ring on command. And I don't know how they did that, but then they gave me some big ass candy bars. They gave me like an M&M pack. They gave me a Hershey bar. All I know is that night it was a good ass night. But yeah, that's the story of how I got traumatized on Halloween night. By a doorbell. A doorbell traumatized me on Halloween night. Woo!